Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of the Baddie Besties podcast. I'm your host, Elisa.
And I'm your co-host, Samira, aka Samski.
And today we're back with another locker room edition.
Ooh, this is our series. We get into all the tea, straight from the locker rooms, from the WNBA, NFL, NBA. Oh, look, I'm getting confused with all the leagues. NFL, NHL. Honestly, we are not holding back. All the leagues, none of them are off limits.
None of y'all are safe.
Our ear is to the locker room, and we're tapping in. So this time, we're going to be flipping the script. We're going to be talking about relationships, attraction, and of course, sex. What do men really say when women aren't around? Are locker rooms just a toxic breeding ground for outdated gender norms? Or is it where men keep it the realest about love and loyalty? So
we're going to find out.
We're going to get into it, baby. So let's get into the first segment. The locker room is talking, and baby, Baddie Besties is listening. Okay, so the first one, this is a really prevalent conversation, especially this is going to be dropping during International Women's Month. So it's a really, really big conversation about the gender pay gap, especially when it comes to sports. So, we're going to use the NBA for an example today, but it's between all sports, from soccer to, even flag football and the NFL. There's a humongous pay gap. And just looking at the NBA versus the WNBA, pay gap always resurfaces in conversations. Recent controversy with Brittany Griner going to play overseas just to be able to upkeep her lifestyle because the pay is not enough. I think the average salary in the WNBA is $80,000. And now teams like the LA Sparks are selling out Lakers Arena. So kind of wanted to hear, what are your thoughts between male and female athletes, especially now that females are bringing a lot of attention? Because before that was the argument, right? Like they don't have that same viewership and entertainment. But now, what do you think about the conversation of women getting paid more?
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen one of our recent episodes, we do dive into this a little bit with like equality and women's the lack of equality, even with the pay, right?
Yeah, it was like 82 cents. We get 82 cents for every
dollar, right?
For men, yeah.
Right. So it's not a surprise. Of course, I'm a girl's girl. Of course, I am going to say, I definitely feel like our WNBA players should be paid more. $80K is crazy. But
for compared to like, I think, what was it? I don't have the numbers, but it was like Caitlin Clark. She was a first round draft pick. I think her salary was like $80K. And then you look at the NBA first round draft pick, and their salary is millions of dollars.
I'm like, y'all could at least pay the girl six figures or something.
Let's just believe Caitlin Clark is dropping buckets.
She is. She is. And selling out stadiums and selling jerseys and all of that. So yeah. I do think, obviously, with everything going on and, selling out the Lakers stadium as well, there is a better argument per se, because it's like, well, the tickets are being sold and like the jerseys are being sold. So like the girls are making y'all money. They're making you guys cash. So where's their cash? Where are their coins at?
I do appreciate some athletes that they're not necessarily male athletes. I don't know if they're necessarily speaking up, but I know like instances like LeBron and like there's some male figures that are like, okay, like what's up? Like,
and they're supporting, they're going and they're sitting courtside at the games, right? They're paying their money to go, they're doing their thing and they're tweeting about it. They're talking about it. And there's even a lot of relationships too between male and female athletes. I don't know if I'd say a lot, but I know a few. Do you feel like maybe there should be, or these relationships between male and female athletes should bring maybe some more attention to the financial disparities?
Yes, of course. There's obviously a power dynamic. Like the male is making millions of dollars and then she has her salary. Luckily with NIL and just like brand partnerships, like women are catching up, but not necessarily, not even to the degree of males. So what's really, I guess, disheartening, because they're playing the same sport. Women are breaking their bodies just the same. They got to do the PT just the same. They got to practice just the same. So it's like, I know there's that argument, oh, the rim is higher, this, that, the third. Like, I know the male argument, but like they're putting in that work. And it's really sad. And I don't have the stat in front of me, but and I can get it in the meantime, that they're getting paid probably, I don't know, it's like a crazy amount from the NBA versus WNBA.
Yeah.
I'll get the disparity while you continue.
It's definitely, a big difference. But I feel like there's also, I don't know, I don't know if I would say a dynamic shift when like a high profile NBA player and a WNBA player date. Mm-hmm. I wonder what that is like, or if there is, I can only assume, right, as a man dating a woman that, he loves or he loves or whatever, that like he does want to advocate for her. But do you feel like there's a space for men to do that? Or do you think it's kind of like that's touchy waters, like don't talk about it?
Okay.
Does that question make sense, or should I rephrase?
No, it makes sense, but I think there's different components, right? So now in this current day, like you look at the Super Bowl and there's a whole Super Bowl commercial with Nike literally highlighting women athletes. So I think this conversation maybe a couple years ago would have been different. Mm-hmm. But now women are taking up space, especially in sports, that they have that respect. I think back in the day, and even, let's say not even athletes, like you are dating a prominent male athlete figure, I think what can happen even with those power dynamics is the girl can essentially get lost in the sauce and their identity becomes the male, right? Like they become LeBron James' wives. And although now like Savannah James, she's that girl, she has her podcast, she's doing this, like she's well known, but I think it's also easy to get lost of being somebody's wife when your man is like a really prominent figure.
Absolutely.
Now with women's sports, like if anything, they're talking about Caitlin Clark's boyfriend. Like now it's becoming a different conversation that probably would have not happened. Or Angel Reese, when she has a man, I'm sure that man, they're going to be like, that's Angel Reese's boyfriend. So the conversation is now shifting, which is amazing to see. Like, no, now you my boy toy. I'm not. I'm not boy toy. I'm not the trophy wife anymore. Like you're the trophy husband, right? So it's like it's amazing to see the power dynamic starting to shift in this current day.
That's very interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean I think Caitlin Clark is dating one of the McCaffrey brothers, so it's really interesting that like he's essentially known for dating her.
Yeah,
and like literally his brothers. I mean, the McCaffreys, they're well known. So it's amazing to see like that shift.
Wow. Yeah. I agree.
All right. So would you date or dating a professional athlete? Do you consider the lifestyle and public scrutiny, just kind of deep diving into this? There's a lot of a perception. I know some males in the locker room, they be chatting, saying, one, the girl is out for their coins, right? There's a perception like around the fear of only being valued for their wealth. Yet many athletes pursue partners based on appearances, like the Instagram models. Even though, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts, your perception about that, because it's like they say they don't want a gold digger, but they're also maybe looking for one type of look. So I'm just curious to hear.
Yeah. Well, there's two sides to this coin. You asked me two questions. So first, would I date a professional athlete considering the lifestyle and public scrutiny? I think for me, I would have to trust this man.
Yeah.
I would really have to trust this man.
Because imagine getting done dog dirty like Khloe Kardashian and Tristan. I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could do it. I think men are still men, right? No matter what. I think whether he's on a basketball court or a football field or a corporate office or anywhere or Starbucks across the street, right? Men are still men regardless. And it really comes down to like the values of that man, the place he is in his life, what he's looking for, et cetera, et cetera. Because you can put a man who's really ready and looking in that environment and he'll still be loyal to his woman and he still has a vision that he's trying to fulfill, right? And you can put a man who's not in a place in that kind of environment and it's a playground. So I think I don't think it's necessarily that like all athletes are just dogs, because I don't believe that. But I think men are still men, and there are an environment that makes it a playground.
I didn't say athletes were dogs, baby. That wasn't my question.
I know, but the question was, would I? No, that was me. Would I date? Would you date a professional athlete, considering the lifestyle and the public scrutiny? And then I said I wouldn't date them. A lot of them, there's a lot of stuff happening with the environment, and then that's how I broke it down. Just to be clear, and I don't think all of them are dogs, and nor do you. But it's about the man himself. So would I date one? It would depend on the man. Your other question was more related to,
like, for instance,
gold digger vibes.
Gold digger vibes, look vibes, like they be in the locker room being like, she got to be bad, but that's not the only thing I'm looking for.
Okay.
So that type of vibe.
Okay. My thoughts here. I think when it comes to looking for a wife, I feel like these athletes, we're specifically talking about athletes, right? This is locker room edition.
Yes.
I feel like when it comes to a wife, that quote is valid. Like, I think that he is going to look for looks, because he's going to want to be attracted, but he's also going to look for other qualities within that woman. But if he's not looking for a wife, I think he's looking for looks. On the other side of the coin, the gold digger vibes, like, are women looking to maybe go after professional athletes for the coins? I mean, go to the Celtics game, and, or go to the Celtics after party.
Not just
a lot of them.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
All of them.
They'll be,
a lot of them, but not all of them.
They'll be, what's the word? They be seeking. They're
praying.
And that brings me to the conversation. I know we spoke about it, but I think we have to deep dive on it now more. Drea Michelle with Jalen. Do you feel like, that a lot of people would say that was a praise situation because he's 22 and that's the same age as her son. So the picture went viral of her and her son sitting courtside recently at the Houston Rockets game. And
I saw that.
Yep. They were sitting courtside, and they were like, damn, sis don't know how to read a room. Like, she really is flaunting that,
yes.
Brought her son to the game. And that's his stepdaddy?
Yes. I love Drea. I sure do. I love Drea. I love Mint Swim. I love, Drea's my girl, but he's really young, babes. He's like 20, how old is he?
22, I think.
22. He's younger than us, right?
That's so crazy to think about.
I have to say it.
He was just able to drink last year.
That's crazy. I have to say it because, he's obviously a very talented basketball star, and it was really well known before he even entered the league that he was going to enter the league and that he was a prospect. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe, I don't really know her business, so I don't know what's going on, but if, like, maybe she was trying to find a way to maintain her lifestyle,
continue the coinage.
Yeah, through the relationship, and that was just the person that she chose and the person that chose her. And that's not to say that they don't have love between them and that, like, they don't have a real connection or that they're not real soulmates. Like, I don't know them, right? But from the outside looking in, it is a little bit weird. I think if I was her age and I had kids and my child was 22 or however, in his 20s, would I go for the 22-year-old? No, I don't care how much soulmate energy I had. I personally think that would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, I think I don't like to comment on what do you, boo, but my thing is, if that was my son personally, I would definitely feel away. 100%. It would definitely feel like she prayed and she plotted to make sure her bag was secured. So she had a baby. That's another thing too. Like, we talk about even getting the ring. There's a lot of now baby mamas, they're getting into a commitment with having a kid. Maybe it's, it's not marriage, but they're locking down, and there's also financial benefits by doing that.
Absolutely. I kind of feel bad a little bit for the players too sometimes, because I'm like, I don't know. I can't say I feel fully bad because
I can't
feel fully bad.
I'm sorry. You could also pull out. or wear a condom. Wear a condom. Like, no.
You could. You're right. You're right.
Nah, they can't feel bad.
Up too. That's messed up too. Because they be like preying on them. But you know what? I think there's duality in everything. So it's like if you are a professional athlete, you're making all this money, you're on this stage, like you're in a public, right? You're in a public. You're
like a public figure.
Yeah, you're a public figure, just like other actors or just like other people that are in the public eye, right? They all experience that same kind of thing where like, is she messing with me because of my money? Like, do I have to be careful? You know, like I should probably pull out. I should probably come strapped. You know what I'm saying?
The problem though, I feel like is maybe just like, you know, y'all make sure you tap into our Melissa episode, but like as you are a public figure, there is a reputation. I feel like with athletes because, and I don't know, maybe it corrects me if I'm wrong, maybe they feel like they have this power, like why they have multiple baby mamas. Like they don't care about the perception because they're like, I have all this money. Who cares what people think about me? And I feel like they don't really hold themselves or maybe take accountability. Like what's his name? This is a really good example. Cam Newton. He literally stated, I think he has multiple baby mamas. He's literally like, oh, yeah, I can't afford the lifestyle that I'm having, but yeah, I will have another kid. So it's like, he's a public figure, but he don't really care. Like, I feel like somebody that cares about their reputation, one, they wouldn't speak that way. And two, it's like, how does that look like to have multiple baby mamas and no wife, just all these kids out of wedlock?
You know, I think this really has to do with maturity levels, right? And I think money amplifies who you already are. So if you're already an immature boy who just happens to be 30 years old, like it's going to show in your actions. You just have the money to behave how you would because you can. You know what I'm saying? But that same man who is more mature, like he may not make the same decisions. He may not do the same things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it really has to do with
LeBron
it has to do with the character of the man, and you know, like I said, money amplifies who you already are.
Yeah. I guess going on to a next subject here, and I actually got a story about this one. It's the wife versus hookup debate. So I'm messing with her, but she's not my wife. And I'm not going to name drop anything. But what I will say is when I went to BC, I was at BC, one of, you know, a football player that's in the NFL today. He would date a lot of women at BC. He would date a lot of white counterparts and a lot of white women. And he said, nah, she's not my wife. I want a woman of color. Like, that's who I know I'm going to end up with. Mm-hmm. So they'll hook up with certain women and then they won't wife them. So I'm curious, and a lot of people in the locker room, the men be doing that. They'll hook up knowing damn well and sure there's no future between them. Mm-hmm. So what advice do you have for the girlies? What do you got to say about that? Let them know.
I think men are going to be
I know you heard about, you hear about this a lot.
Yeah, of course. I think men are going to be men anyways, and this is not like men. This is not bashing men. You know, I'm not trying to bash men, but I am going to say, like, if he is not in a place in his life where he's looking for a wife and he's looking to commit, he's gonna play the field. Like, he's gonna play the field. He's not gonna take you serious. My advice for women is to do more when it comes to vetting. I feel like a lot of women, we are good with our fantasies. We love a good fantasy. We're gonna live in cloud nine, pretending this man is gonna do X, Y, and Z when he's laying it out that he's not. Or believing, you know, in a story.
Believing them when they say something. Because sometimes I feel like the men do tell them that this is not nothing. But girls in their mind, they're like, no, I can change him. I'm the girl that's going to change him.
No, baby.
Nah, believe them when they said that, boo.
Yeah. And like, when it comes to dating, right, we can do a little better job with like vetting who we're dating and like asking more questions, right? Maybe don't give up the coochie right away, babes. Right? A lot of you.
Period, poo.
Come on.
Period, poo.
I gotta tell you, stop giving up the coochie right away. Like, that's not even your man. And he's not gonna respect you after in the same way. And I can't say that for every situation because he might date you after and it may not be that. But for this situation where we're talking about this quote, oh yeah, I'm messing with her, but she's not my wife. if you are just in a place where you're not vetting men and you're just kind of like, you're having fun, you're going with the flow, you're giving it up, and then you're complaining that you're not being taken serious, I would ask you, how are you dating? How are you vetting? Like, how are you going about like these interactions and these relationships? Why do you keep ending up in this position where like you're being disrespected or you're not valued? Because I don't want that for you, babes.
Yeah, I think, besties, it's about the self-work too. You have to know when a situation's not for you and walk away. Because men, I mean, if anything, like, you could be their baby mama. Like, you could be so tied to this person and they will still do you wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you need to choose yourself. You need to know when enough is enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because
It
some
get
girls,
crazy.
they'll stay for the coins. Like, you got to understand too that when that's another thing. Like, women need to make sure they set themselves up, especially if they choose somebody that's prominent or it's maybe the breadwinner. They will take a lot of BS just because they know if they leave, they have nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one thing I know I will be teaching my daughter. I will be teaching, even preaching to women, like, you need to have your own, because no man will ever, I want to say, they won't try me, walk away from a situation and think that I'm a fall straight in my face, because that's not going to happen, baby. Like, it's important to have your own, be financially stable. I hate to turn this into a money conversation, but finances are important.
Absolutely, they are. Should we turn into a money conversation? Because money matters. And we're talking about gold diggers and stuff. Like, we gonna talk about it, girls?
We can.
We gonna talk about
get
it.
into it, because this is not even with just athletes. There are women and mothers that will let go of their careers. They'll sacrifice it all to be a mother, and then I hate to say this is a typical story. Maybe the man finds a younger girl, leaves, and then now they're like, okay, I left my career. Now I have the kids, and I have no money. Mm-hmm. So now what?
We are baddie besties. We always preach women empowerment. We're always going to put you in position to win, okay?
Period.
So we're going to have to figure something out. I think it's very dangerous to be in a position where you have to stay with someone because your livelihood depends on it.
Ooh, say that again.
If it's very dangerous to be put in a position where you have to stay with someone because your livelihood depends on it. Now, it's one thing to have a man who provides for you and takes care of you, and you have your own. Like, he can't really give you nothing that you can't give yourself, or anything he gives you is like love on top, sprinkle on top, luxury on top, But if you remove all of that and you have nothing for yourself, like, it's dangerous. I feel like it puts you in a position, especially over time, because people do change. Like, look at the stats. 50% of divorces, 50% of divorces in America. And then I think additionally, I don't remember the exact number, but it's about like 40% of those or 30% of those have to do even with social media. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff happening. You don't know how people are going to change. The last thing you want to do is be in a position where like you just have $0 to your name, and at any point he can pull you off an account and now you're screwed.
Yeah, and I think it gives the man too much power.
Yeah, it's like too much.
They know, like, it's like, oh, I can cheat on you, or I can have this relationship, but I know you can't go nowhere. And I think that's power you cannot give a man. I think one of my biggest things, and this is just fun fact about me, why I never really drank or smoked growing up, it is because I never wanted to lose control of myself, right? So imagine me giving a man power. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel, child. I could never give the man, not even the justification, not even the thought that he could have power over me.
Yeah.
The only person that got power over me is God. Child. No man, nobody, not even my daddy got power over me.
Not your daddy.
Not even my daddy, baby. I believe in one thing my mom instilled in me is that a man could walk away at any moment, at any time, that you need to be okay for yourself. You need to be able to, in better terms, stand up, be able to provide for yourself, be able to thrive. Because if that man walks away, and sometimes, they do, like, you don't want to be stuck like Chuck, in better terms, right? Be able to stand up and be able to be, empowered I mean, sometimes, you have kids, you have you got to keep going.
And I will tell you this, I can't speak for all men. I mean, I'm not a man, so I really shouldn't speak for any, but I can't speak, I can't speak for all men, but I do feel like men respect it when you have your own motion, you have your own hustle, you have your own money.
Motion.
You got your own motion, you got your own stuff, you got your own, I really do feel like not every man, some men are like, they want you to have nothing.
Be submissive and be,
Not every man, but a lot of men do respect it because now it doesn't feel like they have to take care of you like you're a child. It makes them feel like they get to provide for you and help you and raise you up and pour into you, right?
Yeah.
But it was never because you needed them to do it. It was because they wanted to do it. They weren't saving you from something.
I think a healthy relationship too, it's like there's not only one account. Like you got your own account, he's got his account, and then there's a shared account. Baby, make sure you keep stacking up your account, honey. Don't be letting that account stay dry, thinking, oh, I can just use our shared account. No, honey.
Make that.
For the tips for the girlies, you need to make sure your account, you are protecting yourself.
Yeah.
And for any healthy relationship, I feel like the man too, they wouldn't feel like negative or any type of way about that. I feel like if a man, like any positive or healthy relationship, it's not going to make them feel any type of way.
Yeah. I
And if
agree.
they do, I think that's a red flag. But let's just move on really quickly here because this one's a little spicy, icy. Shared circles when exes and friends overlap.
Ooh.
And just really quickly here because celebrities, athletes, or just in general, I mean, sometimes the dating overlap. So I wanted to name, I'm going to do Lori Harvey first, and then I'm going to go into Tyga. Lori Harvey dated Future, Michael B. Jordan, and Damison Idris. But where it gets a little bit more juicy, she apparently dated Diddy and his son, Justin Combs, obviously at different times. But my good sis, and I love Lori, but she know how to pick them. Apparently.
Lori, I love you too, babes. I love you too, babes. Body on T, outfits on T.
Yeah, her newest Playboy cover.
Yes, but that really kind of shook me. Diddy and his son is kind of crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie.
My girl says she be picking them, child. I don't know if she's just closing her eyes. And she's like, that's coming out. Like who? Like she's just picking it. And she's like, okay, like because I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. But what is crazy, and I got to get into this tea really quick. So Tyga and Black China had a baby. Then Black China and Rob Kardashian had a baby. But Tyga also dated Kylie Jenner. So we have a Kardashian baby. We got Tyga with Black China. They got essentially Rob and Tyga got the same baby mama, while Tyga also dated one of Rob's sister. So curious to hear your thoughts and overlap. I know this happens, and this is just one example. There's even stories of NBA players and wives and dating the same people. And I know LaMelo, he got some drama going on. There's a lot of mixing of the same groups. Baby, the population, there's 8 billion people in this world, and you're telling me you got to date the same people?
That's a little bit weird to me. I can't hold you.
Bruh.
That's a little bit weird to me. Like, what is going on?
This tea. So my question, is it acceptable to date a friend, ex, or some... what boundaries are universally respected or accepted? I don't know what's going on. What's in the air?
Dating your friend's ex is crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, because Blac Chyna and Kylie were friends, I believe.
That's crazy. And then, first of all, Tyga messing with Kylie, knowing that his BM has a baby with Rob.
No, it was before. Tyga and Blac Chyna was before, but then seems like Blac Chyna probably prayed potentially on Rob, so she knows she could have a Kardashian baby.
Come on, Rob.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. Come on, Rob. Because that's just weird. If you know your little sister is dating Tyga, you're going to go and mess with the baby mama of the guy? That's weird. That's too mixy. Like, I understand Hollywood, what do they say? The higher you get up, the smaller it is. Like, I get it. I mean, I get it. But
yeah,
small? It's not that small,
It's never that small. I just feel
small.
like, too, they created their own world, and what's seems universally like accepted in their minds. But from the outside looking in, baby,
It look crazy down there.
it's weird.
Stop doing that weirdo stuff.
There is billions, okay, with a B of people on this planet, and you tell me you gotta date the same person?
Come on. That shit's weird.
It is weird. All right, we're going to go beyond the locker room really quickly. Relatable relationship dilemmas here, okay? We talking office romances. This is from my 20-somethings that are in corporate. We got to go. Navigating relationships with colleagues. We all know it could be tricky. The power dynamics, the gossip, professionalisms that come into play. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wanted to see, is workplace dating worth the risk, or should personal and professional lives, you want to remain separate? Church and state. What are your thoughts?
You're not supposed to be in the same pond that you work in.
Or they say don't shit where you
eat.
Yeah, don't shit
where you eat. They say that shit for a reason.
But
okay?
What's tough though? Okay, I gotta be the
devil's advocate.
I gotta be devil's advocate.
Oh, here she go.
You're with the person Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You're spending countless hours, 40 hours a week. Okay. 365 days, not counting the weekend, I guess. But like, I'm curious, like, don't you think it's inevitable to maybe a little fling to arise?
I mean, it happens. Obviously, it happens.
Yeah.
I feel like flirtation, I'm not surprised. Like, it makes sense for flirtation to happen, but for y'all to take it outside of the work, I felt like if it were me and I did get to a point where I'm like, oh, I like him, we be kikiing or whatever. I think he's cute. He thinks I'm cute. I'm gonna kiki with him then, or I'm gonna flirt with him or whatever. If I feel like the environment is safe. I'm not saying I'm going to do that because I really don't believe in mixing the pond. But if I were to do that, I'm not taking it outside of the walls that we're at. I'm gonna tell you bye. Bye.
Boy, bye.
That's it. That's all. That's it, and that's all.
Personally, I agree. I'm not dating nobody in the workplace. Like,
No.
First of all, those men don't be my type. I don't know what it is. They don't be my type. So it wouldn't work anyways. But honestly, girl, really, 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 I just feel like you love who you love, right? If it ends up working out, but I do feel like that's saying don't shit where you eat, because if it does not work out, right, you're putting yourself in an awkward position. You might be messing up your bag because you're not able to work the way you need to, you need to deliver results, and now you got an awkward situation, and now you're not delivering the work that you need to because you feel awkward. Like, I think too, you want to not, like, what's the word? You don't want to break your own peace, if that makes sense. Like,
don't put yourself in position to fail. Don't put yourself in position, because it may be all cute and all sweet and whatever, but then when it's not cute and sweet anymore, you still have to A, see his face, or B, mess up your bag. That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like my peace would be so disrupted. So I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, this is just too much. I might have to leave the job. Like, and then imagine you messing up your bag. Like,
that's just too much.
Yeah, it is too much. I would say avoid it altogether.
Yeah. If you want to do a little flirting, a little here, a little there, a little extra smile, whatever, do you, boo. A little wink.
Okay,
whatever.
bestie.
That's it, and that's all.
Yeah, maybe let him get you a lunch or something during your lunch breaks or something.
A coffee, something.
Maybe you want a little drinky drink. Get your little matcha.
Get your matcha. I'm a matcha nigga now.
Matcha nigga now. Period. So I guess I want to turn it up really quickly here. How do you handle? This is a kind of a different question, but for the besties, how do you handle family disapproval of your partner? This is a tough question.
I'm a good one to answer.
You are a good one, because I couldn't do it.
I got something for you girls. I got something for you, because I have definitely had a partner that was not approved of from mom, from dad, from Calvin, from Aleda. They was not fucking with him. So I'm going to give you my take. It's probably not advice you should take, but this is how I am. I'm the type of person, I do my own thing. I march to the beat of my own drum.
Sometimes you don't need to.
A little too much.
A little too much
marching. A little too much. Clock that T. Yeah, something I'm learning. But I've always been the type of person who like really just trusts myself. And I always told my family, let me fail forward. Like, let me win, let me lose, whatever it is, I'm going to learn what I need to learn and I'm going to take it with me. So even with that relationship, it ended up being an L, right? It was really an L for him. Let's be honest. It was an L for him. And I learned what I needed to learn.
Never, and I hate to say this, but I always say this. They can't dream of a better bitch than you.
Say it again. They couldn't dream of a better bitch than me.
They couldn't dream. And I hate to say that. I don't want to say the provocative term, but just know if you got the baddie besties in your corner, just know you got the world behind you.
Yup.
Don't mess it up.
So, again, for this question, I'm the type to just like do what I want to do and then learn what I need to learn. I'm getting better at that. Advice to the girls dealing with a situation where your family doesn't like your partner, I would say just tell them, get to know him, bring him around. You know, I would say bring him around, let them get to know him and see if they can maybe start to learn more of his personality and like see if they mesh, like give them both an opportunity because sometimes they just don't know him well enough at all and he doesn't know them at all and they just haven't had the opportunity enough times to like, you know, see if they can mesh, see if they can find how they fit, you know? On the other hand, if you know for sure they're not rocking, then honestly, that person might not be for you. And I can only say that because I'm a really family-oriented person. I really care what my family thinks. And it really matters to me that who I end up with and who I walk down the aisle and have kids with meshes with my family, at least to an extent. And at least they like him, they respect him, and they approve. So if they're really not, I don't think we're gonna make it all the way. But you know, I've gotten older. I'm not in college anymore. So things are different as you get older.
So
what do you think?
My take on this. So I feel like the question is what was it? If they disapprove of
I feel
your
like
partner,
I know what you're gonna say.
What do you think?
Should I guess?
Guess.
I think Samira's gonna say that she couldn't do it because.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Say it.
Let me guess so we could play the game. They could see if I'm right. I feel like if they disapproved, I feel like she wouldn't do it. Maybe right away, I think she would still kind of do what she wants. But then, like, I feel like you're so close to your family. So if they didn't mess with you, I feel like it just wouldn't sit well in your heart. So am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I think that's the part B answer. Yes.
Okay.
I think, though, I would not put myself in the position nor him to be in a place to get disapproved, if that makes sense. So my thing is, if you know you're about to go back to your man, don't be going to your mom, going to your family, talking, oh, this happened, this, that, the third, if you know you're going to go back to your man. Because now you're setting him up for failure. It could have all been avoided if you... Maybe you need to call up a bestie, call up a friend, call up a FaceTime, vent with her. Because the minute you kind of set a lens or they hear anything from a negative point of view, of course, not a single one of your family members are going to be, in other terms, fucking with him, honestly. Like, and I get that. So I feel like you have to be, you need to be conscious about what you share to not even put yourself in the position anyways. But if I did all the methods and precaution to try to paint him in a good light and they still don't like him, then you're right. Part B is correct. Then we cannot be together. At the end of the day, my family is everything. If you can't mesh with my family, you can't mess with my culture, you can't be dancing with compa. It's a lot of different things. If you can't be, integrated with my family, I mean, there's no future here. And then, so what's the point? There's no point in us being together.
So I think I got it right.
You got part B right.
No, because the part A was like advice. So I did get the actual true answer.
Yeah, I mean.
Yes, I did. Clock that T. Mic drop. All right, I have a follow-up question though for you for this one. Okay, so really quick. How about like mom's intuition or dad's intuition? Let's go mom's intuition.
The problem, okay.
So wait, you know what I'm asking?
I think
with
so.
Mom's intuition, what if it's not a situation where you've given reasons or you've complained about the man and given them reasons not to like him, but like maybe you just show the picture, or maybe she's seen him before, seen him drop you off or something like that, and she just doesn't like him for some reason. Are you gonna stop messing with him, or are you gonna be like, no, I need to bring him around, and then kind of see before you make a decision?
I think That's a great question. I think though, they have their own bias and biases, right? So they may be like, okay, I don't think he's attractive, or they have their bias, but they don't really know the person. So I don't think, yes, you can trust their intuition, but also you have to take it with a grain of salt too, because you can look at somebody by a picture, judging a book by its cover, and you really don't know the person. You don't know their heart. So I think for that, it's 50-50, right? I wouldn't take it at face value.
Okay. I feel like knowing Samira, she would be like, this is interesting that my mom
I would have
it.
the salt, or I would have the grain in my brain, and I would have it in the back of my mind. However, like, if the person hasn't given me any doubts, I can't place that doubt on them if they given me nothing to doubt.
Yeah.
Like, especially if I'm already like, I'm liking them, all of the boxes are clicked, and then just that one doubt. So I think you gotta weigh your options. However, of course, I trust my mom and I trust her intuition, of course. But also I think your parents, they have maybe an ideal person and they think this is what they deserve. And if maybe like she saw the picture and she asked, okay, what does he do? And you say, I don't know, maybe he's a barista or Starbucks worker. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't like him. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there's a lot of different biases that play here that, don't really give you the man's full picture. He could be working at Starbucks, starting a own business, or, he would give you the shirt off his back. Like, there's a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for answering that. That was a good one.
Let's go into rapid fire. We're going to do keep it real or keep it moving. All right. So dating a friend's ex is always off limits.
Dating a friend's ex is always off limits. Duh.
Yep. Period. Yeah, but some people really feel like,
that's crazy. Y'all are crazy. Next. Y'all are crazy. No, absolutely not. I don't care. I don't care how long ago it was.
Okay, period, poop.
Not my friend. That shit was so weird. Ew. And Jenny, I feel like the girl should feel like, ew. Like, I feel like you should feel like, I can't kiss. My friend's lips was on him. I can't kiss him. I can't date him. Like, that's how I feel like you should feel. That's how I would feel.
Yeah, that's
not even
a true
into
point.
It. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's that saying, and I know this is kind of like nasty or whatever, or I have to.
What?
Oh my God, there is a TikTok, and hopefully I can find it so we can add it, where, and this kind of has to do with this. It's a mom, and it's like her and her kids, and then the dad is there too, and then she goes, oh, when I realized that they've all been inside of me.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But imagine, like, y'all are all intertwined. Like,
that's what it's like.
Y'all all been sharing y'all
juices.
Y'all juices or whatever, soul ties, all of it.
All of it. Y'all all connected.
Y'all all connected.
Not for me. All right. Office romances are doomed to fail.
Honestly, I think that's 50-50. I think there's genuine relationships that come out of there that's like they found their wife and they found their husband and it worked out. I think there's the unfortunate situations where they don't work out and it becomes a very awkward situation. So I'm 50-50 on that one.
I agree.
Yeah.
It could work. We're not saying it doesn't, but hey, you better feel like it's your husband. You're strongly.
Yeah. Let's see. Athletes are more prone to infidelity due to their lifestyle.
I disagree. I don't think it has to do with them being athletes.
Clock that T.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
you know the Shamar dance? Or to be like that.
Clock that T.
Yeah. I'm going to have to put it.
Yeah, I said what I said. I don't think it has to do with them being athletes. I think men are still men. And if you're in a place in your life that meets you also being in an environment with lots of temptation and lots of women, like, you're just going to do whatever you feel like doing. It's going to be a playground. Have fun, right? Yeah. That's the vibe there. But I don't think it has to do with you being an athlete.
So you're saying the occupation doesn't matter. It could also be the season of your life. It could be, there's a lot of different scenarios because you have a choice to decide.
Yeah. I think environment plays a part. Like, I wouldn't want my man in spaces that is going to increase levels of temptation for him. But at the end of the day, that man, if he's really about me and he's in a place in his life where, like, he's focused and he's in purpose and da-da-da-da, like, he may see some girl, he's still a guy, he may see some girl and be like, oh yeah, I do like, she's attractive, right? Or like something on her, or like whatever. But like, he's still going to be loyal because he's in that place in his life and he's happy with the person that he's with. But yeah, I think environment plays a part, but it really comes down to the man.
Okay. All right. One more question.
All right.
It's the last one. It's good.
Is it possible to maintain a friendship after dating the same person?
Like after dating the person? That's a tough one. Especially like it depends, right? Too, if that's like, at least for me.
No.
Yeah. Damn,
No.
really?
First of all, why are you even dating the same person? This goes back to the question before, dating an ex. Like,
What do you mean dating the same person?
Dating the
Maybe
same, or am I reading it wrong? Is it possible to maintain a friendship after dating the same person?
Oh, you mean oh, I see what you're saying.
Isn't-
the girl, like essentially, so just context, like you and your bestie, and then there's the person.
Yeah, I dated him, and then maybe.
But
and then you
maybe,
dated him.
okay, maybe there's different context here, though.
Okay,
Devil's
what's another
advocate. Because maybe,
context
though,
to
like,
this?
you guys weren't friends while you guys were dating, and then maybe he brought you guys together. Like, since you guys, maybe your traumas. You guys
What you
bonded
mean?
on the trauma with the man. Y'all don't fuck with him. So
A lot of girls end up being friends. That shit is weird.
maybe tell us why. They might have bonded
They
on
bond.
the trauma the man caused them.
They do. That's absolutely
And
it.
then I think, wait, it was the Ari, the baby mama, the one you said to me.
Which one did I say?
Alexis Scott, was it? It was the two baby mamas that had the kitchen. What was it?
Oh, this is Gia Herbo.
Yeah.
Gia Herbo, I don't remember the girls' names. Well, he has two baby mamas, and they like used to kind of beef a little bit back and forth and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think one of the girls said she would kind of beef at her, and the other one would just kind of
Yeah.
ignore it and not answer it. But it was like a thing that went back and forth for a while. And then after that, eventually they're both not with him anymore. And
You see, they're bonding. They
they're
were
bonding.
They made a YouTube video cooking in the kitchen or whatever. You see, so it's like maybe we could still be friends. I think if you're currently friends and y'all are dating each other, yeah, that's
weird.
Too messy.
Yeah. I don't know if that's really my vibe, but I ain't mad at it.
It might be in the celebrity era because that's where you really see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. Girls are still girls. So
Girlies. Anyways, as you know, we may stir the pot,
it's gonna get hot.
but trust.
You just hit the jackpot. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. We drop every Friday. Make sure y'all tap in. Don't miss out. We got a lot of exciting things coming.
You know where to find us.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.